Hugh Freeze has been a breath of fresh air for the Auburn Tiger fan base. He has come in and completely flipped things around for recruiting for Auburn. Recruiting during the Harsin era pretty much just took 2 years off, went to the beach, sipping pina coladas, while the rest of the coaches in the SEC and around the country who were competing for national titles said, fuck off to their families and were on the road visiting crazy uncles in high school cafeterias. Now, Auburn currently, and Hugh Freeze currently has the number 6 class on 247 with a very strong official visit weekend that they just had for the 2025 class. And they currently have a couple of more crystal balls for the Tigers, including safety Anquan Fegans and running back Ozymandias Kroma. Both are top 100 players in the 2025 class. So this is awesome for them. It's still very early, but they are off to a red hot start and something that has been needed and been wanted for Auburn for the past few years, especially during that Harsin era where recruiting kind of, fell back a little bit. But in Hugh Freeze's first full year, they finished 10th in his first full cycle, which obviously included bringing home the prized possession Cam Coleman, which in most other years, if Jeremiah Smith didn't exist, he would be probably the number one receiver. He is actually Auburn's second highest recruit ever since they started keeping track of all of this. Now, Harsin's era, they finished like 19th and 20th, so right around that range in the 247 talent composite. But Hugh Freeze has Auburn competing with the big boys right now for talent. But since they took a couple of years off, their roster is talent rich, but it's talent rich with underclassmen. And it lacks a little bit of strength and depth from the upperclassmen. So what this means is going to be a lot of young guys this year will be impact players for Auburn. There's going to be a lot of young guys getting reps, getting into the games and having to make an impact. But I think, this year, next year, in the near future for Auburn, Freeze is getting Auburn back to where they really want to be and really need to be in the SEC to be competitive. Now, for this year, they do have a pretty tough schedule. Their over-under win total is 7.5. They have Bama and Georgia. They play every year. So those are two elite programs and, two of the top in the SEC. And they also draw Oklahoma, Missouri, and Texas A&M. All of those teams are in the upper half of the SEC. Now, one of the good things is they draw Oklahoma and A&M. They both get them at home in Jordan-Hare Stadium. So that's good. Hopefully they can be able to make those games competitive. But I think they're going to be more of a threat in 2025. We'll see how Peyton Thorne ends up this year. They got a new offensive coordinator in Derek Nix, who they brought in from Ole Miss. But I think Hugh Freeze is building up for 2025 and beyond. Like this 2024 class has 6 top 100 players, including a pair of top 40 receivers, and the 5th ranked quarterback, Walker White, who shows tremendous upside. Big body, can really sling the ball, move the ball downfield, and they have a lot of faith in them. So I think moving forward in the next year or so, 2025, 2026, Auburn is going to be a really big threat, and a lot of it will be due to Hugh Freeze. Follow Big Body Ball on all socials.